There it is. Let's see how white that dude is.
You're gonna have to bring him over to the others now.
Okay, drum roll. Does he pass the test?
No, I know it's hard to see in the light. His legs are a little like off white.
Oh, boo! Bum, 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 bum. Welcome to another episode of Five Idiots Talking Toys, a podcast for the hobby that we love, collecting Star Wars, the vintage toy line, and we're going to start getting into some other collectibles soon too as well. A lot of modern stuff is coming out with some new material from Star Wars with the Book of Boba coming out, so there's some excitement there as well. But thanks for joining us. Another night of getting together and talking about the collections that we love. You can visit our home base at 5idiotstalkingtoys.com and also subscribe to us here on YouTube if that's where you're watching, or on one of your favorite podcast services. We'll be on there every Sunday night around 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you can check us out each week. And please comment, give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing and what you like and dislike from the episode. And if you have any questions about anything that we talked about, we'd love to kind of share what knowledge we have with you and send that back and forth. You can also collect with us. We have a sales page called rogue5toys.com, and you can visit us there. We have some collectibles available for sale. We answer questions. We share info that we have. We do unboxings. So definitely hang out with us there as well. We have a fun guest tonight that I'm very excited about. He'll be joining us in a few minutes. John Walden's here. Christopher's here. Charles is here. Brandon's here. Guys, what's up? How are you guys doing tonight? Charles's birthday. Happy birthday tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Charles.
Thank you.
What are the big plans?
When are you guys going to take your shirts off of me?
I nominate Brandon.
Me too.
So what are the big plans? Are you leaving the episode and heading out to the bars afterward, or what?
I wish. Just family stuff. So I'll be logging in and out.
All right, very good. I wanted to check in with Christopher tonight too. He's got some really nice new shelving, a new setup for your collection, right? I know you packed up a month or two ago with the new baby on board. How's that going? You've been working on it the last couple of days? We want to see what's going on there.
Yeah, I've been working on the collection the last few days. Everything's been boxed up for a while. You know, I'm getting ready to see it. I'm buying stuff left and right, and I'm just sticking it into a box. I don't even look at any of it. It's kind of depressing. So I started building the furniture. I'm starting to organize everything and lay it out. I'm hoping by next weekend I should be all good to go.
Nice. So you're at least taking one step more than me. You're not leaving it in the box in the hallway for several weeks. You're actually opening it and throwing it in another box.
Yeah, that's right. I at least open it up and I check it to make sure that it's all there, and then I throw it into another box.
You know, I was thinking of you guys the other day because that one thing, that little piece of furniture that I bought that I was super excited about, got wet. The box got wet, right? So I grabbed it from outside like a half an hour too late. The outside of the box got wet. I wiped it off. The damn thing sat in my hallway for like 3 weeks and I didn't open it. It's the thing I was the most excited about, but I knew it was going to be like tedious opening it and having to put it together. And I didn't even open it. Like, how ridiculous is that? But I finally did it the other night. I recorded it for an unboxing, so we'll see. But
okay.
So I didn't actually buy that, but I want to nominate that as the worst buy of 2021.
It is. I don't know exactly. It's a nightstand. I don't know if it's supposed to. It's a little kid's nightstand. I don't know. It's ugly as sin, but it is so cool. The Jedi characters it has on the front of it, I love. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to have to put some collectibles on top of it and just stick it in my office. But I had to have it because it had Leia on the front.
Stylistically, is it dated? Is it 1983?
Oh, totally. It's got like swirl patterns on the top, like that's the artistic part of it. But I have to say the artwork that's on the two doors, like the painting of the figures, Max Rebo Band on one side and like Chewie and a Gamorrean guard and Leia on the other side. The artwork is really cool. I mean, whoever did the paintings, they're not, there's no name, but it's gaudy as all hell. It's totally 1983 little girl's bedroom furniture.
Well, if we're going to start nominating the worst buys of 2021, I'm going to go with that graded Stormtrooper of 70 broken peg.
The 75 graded with the broken pegs and they're flying around like shrapnel inside.
That would be mine.
Is that number one though? It's pretty close.
Oh, so I have number one and number two?
Yeah, definitely.
I knew the pegs were broken in it. I don't know. I thought it was still a decent price, but then I got it and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And so it's already sold. I changed my mind.
If you want us to go through it, you might have 1 through 10, but the show's going to be too long.
Yeah, well, that'll be another episode. The 1 through 10 worst purchases where Shane is 9 of them.
Oh man!
All right, John, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm doing great. I finally got my CAS order in. The figures that I turned in during the ICC con.
Is there? Do we can we add a sound effect, like the hallelujah sound effect, right now?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Finally got them in. I'm happy with them. A couple of them, I was, it's just because you always want a better score than you get, and you always think that they're going to grade higher than they actually grade, but I'm pretty satisfied with them so far. Yeah. So,
do you have anything nearby you can flash on the screen for a second?
Yeah. Actually,
I know you've been waiting for these for 6 months or so.
Yeah, it's 7 months. Yeah, it's been 7 months. So here is the Imperial Gunner.
Oh, nice.
I've already got fingerprints all over him. I need to clean that off. But he graded an 85, and the total grade on that was 86.6. And I'm really kind of, taken aback by why it didn't get higher. I was hoping for at least 85 plus on it, but I mean, there's not a fleck of paint missing or anything. And
a loose, maybe.
Do what?
Maybe there's like a loose limb.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's a loose limb, but he looks really good.
Shake it really hard, like maybe toss it on the ground and see if there's anything loose in there.
Yeah, let's see. Hang on.
like someone I know that throws their figures around the room.
Look at Brandon. He must have just come from Raul's place. Look at that fresh cut.
Fresh clips by Raul. Chris recommended him. He's highly recommended. He's a family barber.
Did you lean way back? You take it all the way back?
All the way.
He flew all the way to California for you? Wow.
Yeah.
The 5 idiots.
He's going back to New York, and he's going to stop by Shane's on the way.
He'll have a quick job with me.
Yeah. There's not much to mine either, so. But
so what else, John? What else you got there?
I got a Cloud Car Pilot, an 85 plus on this guy. Trying to keep it from getting glare, but I mean, he is super, super white. And the total grade on that, here's the 85 plus. The total grade on that was 88.4. So I was happy with that. And
that's a really high grade for that one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is super, super white. Super white. And then I got to be honest, I was a little disappointed with the thing I was most disappointed with was the grade on my double telescoping Luke Farm Boy. Now I know it's the right length for the saber, but it's bent just a little bit, so none of the saber is missing. And again, there's no paint problems at all.
Don't feel too bad, John. A lot of guys have that trouble.
What, the bend of the saber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The length, right, Jane? The length?
It's length and girth, but I mean, just a little curl at the end of the tip. I mean, Luke. There's a lot of Lukes out there like that. Is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen many of them, but there he is, and the paint job is really nice. I noticed that there's a little paint fleck on his thumb of his saber hand, his finger of a saber hand, but other than that, got an 82.2. 82.2. So, I mean, I guess I couldn't ask for much better than that, especially for, the earliest. That's one of the earliest figures. So, it's been around a while.
So here's a novice question for you guys for grading. Am I right in guessing, kind of assuming that they're extra harsh on some of those, more expensive, rare figures, the double telescoping Luke? Some of those early figures that have either, a variant or that had pieces that were early, retired or replaced. Are they just harder on those because they're more rare and kind of just for that reason?
Technically, grading wise, they shouldn't be. They should be following the same grading system on all figures. But as I told John earlier, I've graded Luke Farm Boys for over 10 years now. I've sent in about 20 or 30 of them. I've never gotten higher than an 80 plus. I never got an 85. And I've sent in some really nice looking ones. He is just one of those that's really hard to, get a high grade on. And that's why they go for a lot of money.
And you pay extra for the DT Luke too. Correct.
Yeah. So you pay, I think it's $149.99, to grade it, as opposed to the $39.99 for a regular Luke Farm Boy. But if you look at what the prices are for an 85 Luke Farm Boy, they're up there. Especially brown hair, they're like hitting $1,000 and stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
that's a good score for Luke because they're looking at the figure and they have that, long saber too that they're throwing a grade on also. So it's pretty high grade for it, I think.
Yeah, but like I said before, it's you always hope that you get a higher grade than you actually get, but
break it out and regrade it.
Do what?
Break it out and regrade it.
Break it out and regrade it. Yeah, no how.
Wait another 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing the next 7 months? You're not busy. You're busy waiting. Yeah, this is our third collector's corner. So, John, introduce our guest, please. I'm very excited he's here.
Yes, we're very excited to have with us tonight Mr. Corley Ehrlich, and he is. We've all met him, right? I know I've met him. I met him at the ICC Con, so I think each one of us has met him. But he's a collector of Stormies in particular. And I'm sure he'll get into all that. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us tonight, Eric. And welcome to 5 Idiots Talking Toys for our third Collector's Corner.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. And I have to admit, I may or may not have been running around like a 10-year-old boy trying to get my toys displayed just right before this, which is kind of reminds me of how your house never gets as clean as it does before people come over, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, it was nice to kind of reconnect with my stuff and rearrange it a little bit. So thank you for that motivation.
Good. Yeah, we're glad to have you on. Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything yet, Eric, but I've seen some of your photos, and your room and everything is just so clean. So I highly doubt one thing was out of place in there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of I'm actually pretty much a minimalist. If I had my way, and we've talked about maybe when we get our next house, I would almost like to have my stuff displayed like museum style. And it's funny, and everybody has their own thing and everybody displays stuff differently. But I don't like anything to be blocked. But no, I'm just kind of and Shane knows this. My background is I'm actually a fine artist and designer. I work for an advertising agency now as one of the lead creative directors. So I've been, been in advertising and design for like 30 years, but you'll see when you see my stuff, it's almost like I think subconsciously I'm trying to recreate what it felt like to walk down the aisle in a store, with all of the box fronts, and the packaging has always been what was so interesting to me. And especially when you think about like mocks, I've never been a loose collector. I have my original, whatever the first, 77, 79. I have those from when I was a kid. I don't even have them out. But I only focus on mocks because to me, there's kind of a trifecta of something, of kind of what's going on. And it is the figure that you played with and kind of the memory associated with that, combined with a photo from the movie that really takes you to a moment in the movie and reminds you of seeing that moment on screen. And then, of course, just the great racetrack and Star Wars graphics that, so to me, when you bring all those things together, it's just a more visceral experience to me. And again, that's just me, than just having like a loose figure, which certainly, I can appreciate a really nice loose figure. It's just, I have a lot of loose stormtroopers, snow troopers, bikers. I like the troopers. My collection actually started with a stormtrooper focus, and my guide for what I bought was it had to have a stormtrooper on it. And so it's really interesting if you look at all the toy packaging, stormtroopers show up in some of the toy images that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So that was kind of how I got started, and then it just turned into buying the ships and the toys and stuff that I liked. So, but I've actually had to put a little bit of a cap here recently on my collection just because I've literally run out of room. So until we have a bigger place, I'm probably, unless I sell stuff and replace. But anyways, enough about me.
No, no, this is all about you. So yeah,
I love how Eric's trying to recreate, the experience of a toy store, except his version of a toy store is the Prada store, where everything is displayed on white shelves, spread out, nothing's blocking each other, there's no kids crying.
Well, and I need someone to stand at the entry that when people want to come into the room, they flip through a clipboard, like with some pages. They're like, wait a minute, let me find you on the clipboard.
Yeah, there's some velvet ropes, everything.
So how did you said you got started, was that with your current collection, or is this, take us back to as a kid, what did you collect when you were a kid? I know you said you had the original 79 from when you were a kid. How did that transpire?
Yeah. So I consider myself one of the fortunate ones. I mean, I know we all grew up with some form of Star Wars. There was Star Wars for every generation, frankly. But I was 7 when Star Wars came out. And then 10 Empire and 13. And so that's when I actually aged out right about the at 13 is when I kind of aged out of Star Wars, which is why I really, I have no interest in any of like the Ewoks or the droids or anything like that. Because by the time that stuff was coming out, I was just like, I was like into Duran Duran, and I was,
Right.
but no, so I just was initially, and I think a lot of it had to do with the creativity, in all honesty. It was the most creative, visually, from as a young kind of budding artist, creative kid who was, I made everything. I made jewelry as a kid. I made puppets and gave puppet shows. I was always doing something. And I think when Star Wars came out, it was just kind of a turning point. I remember getting some of the books that were like the art of Star Wars, if you remember some of those first ones, especially when Empire Strikes Back, before it came out, and they'd have those poster magazines where they would tease you with how they were creating stuff. And if you think about it, I could be wrong, but I don't know that there was ever a movie that did that before Star Wars. where they really teased you with how it was made, the creativity, the artists, Ralph McQuarrie, Joe Johnston, all these people who were doing sketches and drawings. And I think it was also the first time that I realized, like, oh, I could make a career out of being creative. And so that was something that really drew me to Star Wars. But, when I was growing up, my mom was a single mom, and we didn't have a lot of money. So I wasn't able, but every time I would go to my grandmother's almost every weekend. And she would take me to this store. It was called Jimmy Walker's Toys and Things. And it was just like one of those freestanding stores. And if I really concentrate, I can still remember the smell of it. And she would take me in, and, I would walk down the aisle and I would pick out something. And so I think a lot of it, there's a connection there for me to the whole toy aisle thing and picking a toy out. But I had every toy. I literally had every toy. There was a point at which a lot of them got stored, and I won't go out to the details, but basically they were given away. And the only toys that I still have, I have my AT-AT, my Imperial Shuttle, my TIE Interceptor, and an AT-ST, and then all my original figures. So that's everything else that I have now has been repurchased. So
sounds like a very familiar story, right?
That's still pretty good, though, that you were able to keep the original figures and the bigger items, because usually those big ones are the first ones to go.
Yeah, and they're actually in really good condition. And I know a lot of people, my husband and I don't have kids, but I know it's always cool to see, people who had the toys as a kid, and then to be able to see their kids play with those same toys. And it was probably, gosh, when was it? 2010. I still had a bunch of my stuff. I mean, I'd been keeping it in tubs, throwing it in the back of the closet, carrying it around. The pieces that I just mentioned, my action figures in these larger ships. And some good friends of mine have a son, and I was moving to Chicago and kind of thinning down, and I had like a garage sale, and I had all that stuff, and they bought it all from me for their son, who was 6 at the time. Now, he played with it for, I think, 6 years. He played with everything, and then one day I get a call, and this was just like probably in 2014, 2015. I get a call, and she's like, Isaiah doesn't really play with this stuff anymore. Would you like it back? And that was also kind of the beginning of my kind of getting back into actually collecting the toys. A lot of the mocks that I have that I'll show you in a minute, it's when I look at what the prices are on them now, I don't know if you guys remember, but like in 2015 and 2016, like you could still get stuff like a really nice mint-on card for a couple $100. And it's crazy. But anyways, so I went over to their house and picked everything up and brought it home. And I want you to know, this kid was like, I mean, he must have just, I don't know. Maybe he thought because they were, maybe he thought they belonged to somebody else or something. I don't know, that he was going to have to give them back. But he was so he took such good care of those toys. And so now they're back with me again. But just that idea that the same toys that I played with, got to inform this kid's childhood as well is just such a cool thing. And now he just went into college. It's crazy. So
that's pretty amazing that you got them back. That's a wild story.
Yeah, the funny thing is that they gave all the figures to me in a little wooden toy chest, and I pulled them all out and was laying them out on the bed, and I had the last 17 because I had bought them as they came out, and they were like going on sale in toy bins and stuff like that, and I just bought a bunch of them. They weren't on the cards, but anymore. But I didn't really ever play with them, so I didn't have much connection to them. So when he gave me back the trunk, all those were in there. And I'm like, meh, these last 17. I sold all last 17 as one lot on eBay for $320.
And you were probably excited about it at the time.
I was telling my husband at the time, I'm like, can you believe I got $300 for all these action figures? So, it Yeah.
Do you have any siblings, Eric?
One of them's worth that, right?
Yeah.
You have any siblings, Eric?
I don't. I was an only child. Or I am an only child, I should say.
So not the same story, but I had a huge Star Wars collection also when I was little. And my brother, who's on my screen, he's on the right of you. He goes down and he sells it at a comic store for like $50. Everything we had. I was heartbroken. I'll never see those again.
Don't listen to a word he's saying.
But I mean, isn't that?
None of that's true at all.
But I kind of feel like that goes hand in hand, that idea that they're not going to be worth anything or that they aren't worth anything. I don't know. That seems to be kind of a thread in a lot of things that are valuable now, right? Like whether it was baseball cards or stamps or, it's like, I mean, I guess jewelry aside or stuff like that where it's expensive. But I feel like that's kind of what brings value to it, I guess, is, people didn't keep it. They didn't know.
Charles, happy you got $50 for it because mine just got thrown in the garbage. So you did better than I did.
I think he wanted to go to like Taco Bell with his friends or something. He was like, he brought the whole collection to one of the local comic book stores. He got $50. He must have got like 100 tacos. He was probably so happy and he was eating them, but I'll never see him again.
No one believes you at all. You used to steal my socks off my feet and sell them because you used to do that with everything in our house. Every toy we had growing up, you used to just sell it all the time. And I would be like, Mom, where's my Fraggle Rock dolls? Charles sold them. Where the baseball cards? Charles sold them. Charles sold everything. And now he's 42 years old and he's still doing it.
Someone check his temperature because I'm sure it's over 100 degrees. He's not with it.
Is that why there's a Taco Tuesday at Christopher's house every night? He's been making up for it for 35 years.
He's trying. So what do we got, Eric? What's your show us some stuff?
Well, what I can tell you is, and this is ironic. So I did hopefully I don't know, maybe they will watch this, but it's kind of funny. I was getting like excited for the whole Secret Santa thing. And was like, had all this stuff pulled that I was going to, think about putting in. And I get the thing and it's like, and what they like, and it's Ewoks. And Ewoks are the one thing that like, I literally, and I know it seems harsh, but the Ewoks, I can't deal with Ewoks. Like, even as a kid, I was like, I wanted spaceships and cool aliens and the armor and the cool costumes, and then we've got bears, and it was just like, and then the play set, like 3 tree stumps and a fire pit.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Ewoks are great. They're the best. See, you don't like the Ewoks because you were already 19 years of age when that came out.
No, I was 13. But my point being is, so I was thinking about this today. Because, I was taking down notes of all the clever things I wanted to say. I'm kidding, I wasn't. But I was thinking about the indoor play set and how cool would that have been? Basically, they could have used that same structure with a platform and lifts if that had been Jabba's palace. If that had been a seat up on top for Jabba. I mean, think about the scenes that took place in Jabba's palace. Whether it's Chewie and Han being reunited in the cell, or obviously the Rancor fight and Jabba's throne room and all of that. They could have done something really cool with that. I mean, how many scenes other than them attempting to roast Han and then the yub dancing around at the end of the film took place there,
Well, yeah, definitely the first half an hour of the movie is the best. I mean, to me, is the best part of the movie. Yeah. The whole Jabba stuff. And my son is 4.5, and without me prompting, that became his favorite movie on his own. And when I read him the storybook, he won't let me get past the first couple of pages. I only have to read him the Jabba the Hutt part. So I think a lot of people love that all the characters in that, and it's the greatest part of the movie.
Well, the Kenner wouldn't have been able to have the Sherwood Forest for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, if it wasn't for the Ewok Village
and Friar Tuck
and for the Gamorrean Guard. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna flip my camera.
So we saw some mini, tour that you gave, visual tour, a handful of months ago or back in the summer. But I think you just threw it up on Facebook or social media, and I loved seeing all that stuff that you have, and I think everybody here saw that. So we're really excited for you to walk around and show us, maybe what's new, and just show everybody what you have. It was an amazing collection last I saw it.
Well, while I'm sitting here and looking at it before I go, because I like my oddballs, but the Sigma C3PO stuff, I've not really focused much on anything else of that, but that turret music box is really, it's like an old school music box that plays the main Star Wars theme. So, of course, you got to have your Kellerman book, right? And then, so we'll just, I'll just start up here on my, it's really hard to see on my.
Hey, Eric.
There we go.
We usually skip over Lobots, though. If you have one, just skip right over them.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I have kind of my carded Stormies up here. I've got some other stuff around the room, but we'll start with Stormies. This is one of the Polish bootlegs. Stormtrooper, he's silver. Tri-logo with an incredible, but this is like porn for me. Bubbles are porn. When they're like no dings, no dents. So actually, and this is when I was talking about when I found, I actually bought this Tri-logo, the Snowy, and the Biker, all within like a year of each other and paid like next to nothing. But that was a few years ago. Then we have Top Toys. This is actually the highest graded figure that I have. It's an 85.
Wow.
So of all the graded figures, of course, I don't know if you can see, he has no foot pegs, foot holes.
Oh, wow.
And the blaster's different too, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see, it's just got kind of a different shape.
Yeah, I've seen that on the one of the websites for accessories. I've never seen one in person, but that looks familiar.
The back is a little different. They've got like the weird names. Oh no, that's the Harbert that I have over there. It's got the weird names. Takara. I don't know why I just said it like that. Takara. So, 12 back. Power of the Force, and then over here on the right, I just have kind of the standard run of those three. I actually just sent the ESB one off to CAS, and it got an 80. So I was pretty happy with that. Interesting story about this guy. So this is the only, this is my 12 back. And I don't know if you can see that. It's got some kind of, I don't know, just some unpleasantness happening there in the upper left corner where some of the litho came off and it looks a little, I don't know, it just looks a little cruddy. So the story behind this is I was at Star Wars Celebration in 2015 and I at that point I didn't have any 12 backs and it was kind of like a grail thing for me to have a 12 back. And so I was walking around, it was the final day, and I was looking around at all the different toy sellers. They're all like dropping prices and stuff, trying to get rid of stuff. It's that last day. And it was this guy, and he had all graded stuff. And he had a tub down underneath because all the graded stuff was just out of my price point at that time. I just couldn't even imagine spending $500 back then. Now it's, it's funny how that dollar amount threshold changes over the years. But I asked him, I'm like, well, what about that one down there? And he like pulled it out. And of course he's like, yeah, I never graded this one because of this corner. And he's like, I'll give it to you for $100. So he gave me that. He sold that to me for $100. Now,
wow.
It is a beautiful Stormy. It is so like white Beautiful bubble. I actually got another 12 back because I was like, oh, I really want a perfect card. And I got it got here. And then when I held it up next to this, the Stormy was nowhere near as white. And I think I made a post on the IC and I was like, what's better, a better card or a white Stormy? And they're like, always a white Stormy. So, and then this is, I actually got a Stormtrooper at ICC Con and had Jim Swearinger sign the case just since he did the original sculpt. So just a quick glance at some of the other cards. So I don't really have so I'm not a completionist in the sense that like I had to get all the 12 backs. I'm probably one of those weird people that like, I'm not terribly interested in Luke and Han. I have a Leia 12 back because it's Leia and you have to have Leia. But I like the characters that are the aliens and the ones with the interesting costumes. This is my Death Squad commander. He's an 80. Chewie, 80 Sand Troop or Tusken, and an 80 Jawa 12 backs. And then and I have all the variations of the troopers. So, you know, the standard issue card and the tri logo. I actually just got this guy. And the only one I'm missing now is TIE Pilot, which is really hard to find. So I have a Luke. This is my favorite Luke card of all the Luke cards, is him as a pilot. But I bought this at a con when I had bought a ticket to meet him and get a signature. And so I just ran around to one of the toy sellers and that was what I found to buy. So this whole side is, and I always, it's hard to say now because you when you say the word droids, people assume you mean the cartoon line. But I like all the droids in the movies. And so that was kind of an idea for a run for me, which was just to get all of the action figures they made of the various droids. So, and again, these are all, you know, this one I actually got at ICC Con. This the EV99. That was the last droid that I didn't have. I also like offerless. And again, I think it goes back to the point I was making about that image connected with the you know, the figure. And so many times that offer, like, it's not so bad on the R5D4, but like on the TIE, what is it, on the AT-AT driver, they put it like right over his face, right? So I've gotten these two guys graded. And then down here, just IG-88. So anyways, so this whole section here is obviously this stuff's modern. And then you'll see I don't know if you noticed, but I have these buckets around the room up high. Those are all sets of armor that I actually have as a member of the 501st Legion. So I actually have full Executioner armor, A New Hope armor, just regular First Order TK, and a Shadow Trooper. So actually, that's actually a picture of me and my Shadow Trooper right there.
It looks like we're at a party on Endor with the Ewoks when they were celebrating.
They're playing drums on all the buckets.